Hello and welcome back. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. I don't know how you guys feel. My brain is absolutely fried, but I am so incredibly excited to be here for probably our last interview of the night on FanX TV. I have with me the beautiful cosplayer Lisa Pinelli.
Hello, everybody.
How has your FanX been so far?
So this is my first FanX, and it's been incredible. Everybody's been very nice. I'm loving Utah. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm glad you're loving Utah.
Yes.
And you are from?
I'm from California, Southern California.
Awesome. So close to home,
Yeah.
but just far enough away that you're like almost on vacation.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. I'm glad you're liking it so far.
Yeah.
So how long have you been cosplaying?
All right, so this is kind of a weird question. I've been modeling since I was a little kid.
Okay.
And then I kind of went on and off until after high school. I went like full speed ahead back into it. And while I was modeling as a kid, I was also really into arts and crafts. So I was always building things, and I was making costumes. I was making my brother wear them. And it wasn't until later on, after high school, my friend took me to a convention and was like, look, this is really cool, you'll like this. And then I kind of combined the two. So I kind of already been doing it, I just didn't know. But I want to say maybe officially, maybe like 10 to 12 years.
That's incredibly exciting.
Yes.
What was your first convention that she took you to?
It was WonderCon in Anaheim.
All right,
Yeah.
so close to home.
Yes.
That's so fun. I've always wanted to go to WonderCon. So my first Comic-Con was San Diego. So
Yeah.
I get that. The big ones where you're just kind of
Yes.
like, what is this? But that's so
Yeah.
exciting that you actually did arts and crafts and you were able to then incorporate it with what you'd been doing for, like growing up anyway.
Right.
So do you have a favorite cosplay?
So my favorite cosplays is I like to feel like I'm that character when I'm cosplaying. So I did cheerleading for a long time. I did dance, martial arts. So I really love doing cami because I can run around, I can jump and kick and flip. And Tomb Raider is really fun too because I used to do parkour. So
Oh,
I like
that's so
climbing.
cool.
So anything that I can just really be that character, those are like my favorite ones. But those two are like my top favorites.
I was gonna say, like, you have to make the perfect cami, and that's so cool that you're probably like, I know the martial arts, and so doing
Right.
the posing for the photography has got to be really fun with cami too, because there's so much that you can add to it. Where you're
Yes.
like, hold on, I'm gonna like give you the best picture. 1, 2, 3.
And then kick. Yes.
That's so fun. What has been your favorite thing? You said this was your first FanX.
Yes.
What has been your favorite thing so far about being here?
Honestly, I don't know. It's just kind of been like a very bittersweet feeling. I guess, okay, so since COVID has been a thing, it's been very nice to be back at conventions.
Yeah.
So I want to say that's probably my favorite. I've done a couple little conventions, but this is the biggest one
That was-
since we've come back.
Since everything's
Yes.
happened. And I was going to ask you too if you've been to any conventions or if this one is your first one. 'Cause
Yeah, so last weekend I went to one that was called PowerCon. It was a He-Man Powers of the Universe convention.
That's
So
so
it was
cool.
so cool. Everybody's running around as Skeletor and He-Man, She-Ra. It was really cute.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
fun. And so, but this is like your first like
Yes.
large
Yes.
convention back. And in my previous interview, when I was talking to Alina Masquerade, I said it almost feels like a homecoming. Where you're
Yes.
seeing people you haven't seen for 2 years, or like your celebrity guest friends that you haven't seen for
Right.
2 years, or any like just being around people. It's been
Yes.
such a long time. Was there anything you did during the lockdown, the pandemic, that like helped you stay prepped for cons? Because I know that as soon as FanX was on my calendar and it got closer and closer and closer, and I was just like, oh, I have to start prepping for these again. Did you stay prepared, or did you do like me and just kind of hibernate and then be like, uh-oh, it's con time?
Through lockdown, I just still did photo shoots. I still made stuff, and I'm very hard on myself. I work out every day. So I tried to make sure that that was still a thing. So I guess I wasn't too far out of the loop with it, but FanX did creep up on me. It definitely did. But I guess it was kind of I just kind of did it. I don't know.
I'm glad to hear you
Yeah.
stayed busy and stayed
Yeah, I
creative.
definitely stayed busy.
Because there would be times where I'm like, oh, I want to do this, this, and this, and then I'd like lose my drive just a little bit.
Yes.
And then I'd be like, oh, but I want to do this, this, and this. But it's good to hear that you kept yourself going, you worked out, you have to stay positive
Yes,
during that.
yes.
Because it got really lonely doing the isolation and all of that stuff.
I will say though, because I knew that I wasn't going to have any conventions, it was a lot harder for me to have the motivation to build bigger cosplays.
Yeah.
Because it was just going to be a photo shoot and it was going to sit in a closet.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily want to put that much time and energy into it to never use it.
Yeah, because for a minute there, it felt like we didn't know how long it was going to be until we could see everybody
Yes.
again. And
Yeah.
thankfully, it was. I use sooner loosely rather than later, because there have been shows that have still been postponed to 2022. But we're so lucky here at FanX that they were like, we're going to do it. We have all of the wonderful safety guidelines that they've been so
Right.
great about, and it feels safe to be here. So you said that you've been doing conventions for about 10 to 12 years. Do you have a memory or memories that has stood out in your mind over the past time of conventions?
It's probably just meeting people and then seeing those familiar faces come back. And then being able to, like if it's a year later kind of thing, you see them again and then they tell you what all they've done in that time frame. And then it's 5 years later and you just see them grow as a person.
Yeah.
And you see their families grow, and it's so fun being able to connect with the fans and make actual friends too.
Yeah. And that's one of the best things about being able to travel and meet people, because then you have the opportunity to see them again on the road and you're like, hey, and again, it's a happy family. It's like a homecoming.
Yes.
So when you first started out, for the people that are first starting out with cosplay, is there any advice that you would give them to maybe like help them be less afraid, or how to like tackle sewing or even learning a new skill? Because that's intimidating. What's your advice for the new cosplayers or aspiring cosplayers?
My biggest thing is have fun. Because if you're not having fun with it, if you're stressing out about the whole thing, you're going to hate it and you're never going to want to do it again. A lot of people always ask me, oh, well, how do you make this? And are you spending a lot of money on your cosplays? And you can literally use anything. Like, I like to use googly eyes as buttons, and then you just paint them.
Yep.
Yes. So there's little hacks that you can do to make your life easier. And I just think have fun with it. That's the biggest part of it.
That's great advice, because I feel like sometimes you want to do so many different things that you get lost and then you get stressed out. And then I've personally rage quit on some cosplays before because it's not turning out the way I want it to, where if I would have just like taken a break and stepped back and come back to it a day or two later, it would be fine.
Yes.
And how do you like take care of your mental health through all of this too, because it does get stressful and tiring sometimes?
Really
Is there any
does.
like thing that you do that helps you in the long run so you can appear as happy and beautiful as you are?
Oh, so are you.
Oh, no.
My thing is, like I told you, I like to work out, and I really like stretching. So a good workout session for me, or just to sit down and just stretch and breathe and relax. That's kind of my thing for it. I know some people like to just read, so sometimes I'll read before I go to bed, but just something really, really relaxing. One thing from your last question also is a lot of people say that they made something and they're not necessarily happy with it, and I feel like every single cosplay is going to constantly grow. You're never going to be completely happy with it, and you're always going to have a new idea. So I feel like that also maybe goes into this question too, with the stress levels of it. If it's not perfect for you or your opinion, or in a year if you don't like it again, then you can just go and grow and just amplify it, make it bigger and better. And
is there a cosplay that you have since gone back and like refinished? When, if so, what is it? What is one that you started and your skill set has then since grown, and it's now it's evolved into something where you're like, yeah, this is my current skill set, look how far I've come?
I feel like a good one is my Bowser. I did this probably close to 10 years ago, and I feel like I'm on version 10 by now. So every year I'm adding something new. I'm making a new chest plate type of thing, but it's like a armored Bowser.
That's cool.
And I really like making armor, and I feel like every year my armor skills or knowledge and like different material, everything, it changes. So it's been fun changing it and seeing where it goes over the years with the pictures, but it does stress you out a little bit. You're like, oh no, this is what it looks like. I don't want it to do that now, so let's change it up.
But the before and after, it also makes you feel so accomplished, because you're like, look at what I've learned, look at how far I've come. And then when you look at it, you're like, okay, my next skill I want to learn is blank. And then you can add it to that. And it's always fun because, like you said, your cosplays are always growing, they're always evolving, you're always learning something new.
Yes.
It's never quite a finished thing.
Yes.
And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So behind us, we have our amazing celebrity row area. Is there anybody that you want to meet this weekend that you're really excited is here?
I don't know if I'll meet them, but I was really excited about Nick Carter.
Okay, me too.
Yes. I loved Backstreet Boys growing up. I still love them, but I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh.
That's my person too, that I was like, if I can even just like walk by his table and see him like in person, from 20, 30 feet away, that's fantastic. But I love that that's who you got excited for, because that's the one that I was like, if I could.
Our little teeny charts.
Exactly. That's so great. I loved Backstreet Boys. All right. We're getting down to our last little bit here. Is there like how are you enjoying Utah as a whole?
Love it.
You
yes,
love it?
I love it. So where I live by the coast.
Okay.
I live right by Disney, so it's very traffic and there's always people there. I do love it there, but coming over here, I love the mountains.
Yes.
I was here a couple years ago, and I actually went hiking up in the mountains, and I loved it so
Fun.
much. It was amazing. So I was hoping I would be able to do that again this time. We'll see.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
our air quality is actually pretty nice.
It
so.
really is.
Because California has unfortunately experienced a lot of fires right
Yes.
now. So
It's very smoggy because of all the traffic, and
Yeah.
then there's a lot of fires constantly going on.
So we're now nearing the end of day 2 of FanX. What has been your favorite moment of FanX so far?
Ooh. I don't know. There's a lot of moments. Probably what I was telling you, just meeting some of the familiar faces. I've only been to Utah one other time for a different convention, and I did meet a few of you guys out there, and you guys came to my booth yesterday, and it was really cool being able to see them again. And some of them were telling me, oh, we got married, we did this, we did that. And I was like, oh. So that's definitely my favorite part.
I was going to say that's kind of what we also talked about in my interview with Alina, and she's like, it's so fun to see these people almost like year after year, every couple years, to hear they got married or they have a kid, and then like you see the kid when it's a baby, and then all of a sudden they have like a first grader, and you're like, oh my
Right.
goodness, I'm
Yeah.
so glad you guys are doing well. It's fun to keep in touch with you guys,
Yes.
so we absolutely love all of that. Is there anything you're hoping to do tomorrow for your last day of FanX? Do you have like a goal, or do you just want to have as much fun as you've been having?
Definitely have lots of fun. If you guys are watching, come by and say hello. We want to meet everybody. I just love chatting with everybody. That's my thing.
Have you seen a standout cosplay this weekend? Because I know, because my booth is near yours, and we
Yes.
have like the prime spot to watch people go by.
We
Has
really
there been
do.
one that stood out maybe that you're just like, oh, yes?
There has been a lot of really cool ones. I did see a Groot. He was a very tall Groot.
I missed Groot.
Oh no. He looked pretty legit. Like his little legs had little I mean, I guess it was the roots, but they were kind of stringy. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. They look like they move.
That's so exciting. All right,
Yes.
so we're getting near the end of our interview. You're probably ready to go to dinner. I know I'm ready to go to dinner. So for this last little bit, what I want to have you do is shamelessly plug yourself. Where can we find you? Your social medias, your booth number. Are you on any panels? Let us know where we can find you tomorrow and beyond.
All right. Well, tomorrow I will be here at FanX. I will be at my booth all day long, so be sure to come over anytime during the show hours. If you are not going to be here, you can check out my YouTube. It's youtube.com/Lisa Pinelli, as well as Instagram, which is instagram.com/Lisa A. Pinelli Official. So there's 2 A's.
I was going to say that's good, so that way I can find. Pretty sure I follow you, but if
Yeah.
I don't,
I think I follow you as well.
perfect. But I highly recommend following her. Keep up with her. Her cosplays are amazing. She's beautiful. Thank you for taking this time to let me interview
Of
you. I'm sorry it
course.
started frazzled, but we love you guys, and I hope you have the best night. And we'll be back with FanX TV bright and early tomorrow.
Yay, thanks, FanX.